Hi, Crystal. Today we're going to talk about, when you go to another country, how some things are considered impolite that are okay here. Like when I went to Cardiff, it was very different because if you stop to talk to someone and you ask them for directions, they looked uncomfortable. They weren't okay with you asking them.
Yeah.
Whereas here, most of the time, people will be like, "Oh, okay, then you can do this." And have you ever done something in another country in a new culture that was embarrassing?
Yes. When I went to Kenya, I was talking about childbirth around men, and I was very quickly hushed because it's not okay to talk about women's issues in like mixed company of different genders.
Yeah, that's a big one. Gender issues are very specific in different cultures. That's a very good example. Okay, so it's important that we know which words we can use to explain like what is a bad idea to do, what's okay and what isn't. And so we're going to practice these words like must, mustn't, should, shouldn't, and have to.
Okay.
So you can talk about what you should be doing in another country and what you shouldn't, you know? Okay, so let's look at this chart right here for these words. Under required, so that means you like have to do it.
Okay.
It's a rule. That's must and mustn't.
Okay.
So we use those words when we're saying you have to do this. Like,
Okay.
This is like required, you know? And so for advised, which is like, it's just telling someone that it's a good idea or it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
And that's should or shouldn't. You should do this, but that means it's a good idea, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
And so we use have to for something you like need to do right now, or you like it's a rule. But we use don't have to say you get to choose.
Okay.
It's okay to say yes, it's okay to say no. You don't have to go to the store.
Okay.
But it'd be nice if you did.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm going to show you these sentences, and I want you to look at them and tell me, is there, like, which of these sentences needs a word in that spot?
Okay.
Yeah. Because not all of them do. Some of them are fine.
Let's see. So the second one, you have to call the teacher by her first name.
Good.
And then you don't have to get married to live together.
Yeah. So when we use the word have, we're using a phrase have to.
Okay.
Like you have is like you have something with you. I have a dog.
Yeah.
But I have to do my chores.
Okay.
So I want you to look at these sentences and tell me, is this first one correct? And if not, how do you fix it?
You must to call a teacher by her last name. Yeah, you must call a teacher by her last name. There's no to needed in that sentence.
Yeah, we don't use the to unless we're using the have. Okay, how about the second one?
You shouldn't buy bread from a different bakery. That one's fine.
My friend told me about a story that's about that one.
Okay.
Where in France, when you're in a small village, if you buy bread from one bakery, then you shouldn't ever go to another one.
Oh.
Because you're supporting their family and their living, because it's a small community. And it would be weird to develop that relationship and then go spend your money somewhere else.
Okay.
How about number 3?
You don't have to get married.
Yep, we're missing a word.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
Have and to. Go together.
Perfect. You mustn't forget to shake hands or kiss your friends every day. How's that?
Yeah.
Good. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to give you a worksheet now, and I want you to answer the questions about your home culture. Okay? Yeah. Just think about those for a minute.
Take a gift when invited to someone's house.
So
Don't have. Okay, so I'm answering.
Yeah, I'll be your partner for this activity because you would normally have another partner.
Gotcha.
So, is it a good idea to take a gift when invited to someone's house?
It is a good idea.
Yeah.
But you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to. Perfect. That's a good one. You want to ask me one?
Sure. Is it a good idea to ask how old someone is?
Mostly you shouldn't ask how old someone is. You can.
Yeah.
But it can be considered rude.
Yeah.
Depending on how old someone is.
Right.
Is it a good idea to smoke without asking permission?
You shouldn't smoke without asking someone's permission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it might upset them, or they might have asthma, so it makes it hard for them to breathe. That's good. So could you tell me a couple sentences using must, mustn't, should, shouldn't, or don't have to about American culture? And you can use the sheet if you want to, or you can think of your own.
Okay. Let's see. You should, let's see. You don't have to take off your shoes when you enter a house. But it is I guess you could also say you should ask.
That's a good.
If you should take off your shoes.
Yeah. I like that. 'Cause sometimes it's not necessarily that you should do it or you shouldn't.
Right.
But you should find out if you should.
Sometimes you see a pile of shoes and then so you ask.
You.
Yeah.
There are signs that aren't just verbal that tell us. You know.
Yeah. You shouldn't ask someone how much they weigh. You mustn't.
No, you mustn't.
You mustn't.
Mustn't is a good one there.
Yeah.
It's not a recommendation, it's a rule.
Yeah.
You don't
mustn't
ask. Okay, one last one maybe?
Let's see. You should call people by their first name. Or no, let's see. Let's do this one's more clear to me. You should leave a tip in a restaurant in America.
Yeah, you kind of must.
Yeah, you must.
And some people don't.
And some people don't.
But those are bad people.
And
Those
I'm
are
a waitress,
rude people.
so.
You're a waitress.
You really must leave a tip.
You must. It's like people's livelihoods, just like the bread story.
Yeah.
Whose livelihoods depend on it.
Right. And in some cultures, if people are paid more, they could understand how that wouldn't be a should even, it's just kind of
servers are paid more in other countries and then they don't need tips to survive. But in America, we don't pay our servers.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Can you... Yeah, no, we did that. Good. I just want to go back and look at these sentences one more time, and I just want to see if you can tell me which modal to put into them.
Okay.
So to arrive about 15 minutes late to a social appointment at someone's home, what word would you use? Which modal?
Shouldn't.
You shouldn't arrive about 15 minutes late.
Oh, to a social event. Would you use you may arrive about 15 minutes late to a social event?
Yeah, you could, you should, you
might not
want
like a
to.
work meeting, but a social gathering.
Yeah, some things you must arrive on time or early, but in some cultures like France or any Spanish-speaking cultures, if you show up on time,
that would be stressful.
That is like wrong.
Yeah.
You need to show up a half hour late.
Yeah.
So how about the second one? To greet friends with a kiss every day. This is considering French culture.
Oh, okay. So, so considering French culture, then it would be, you should.
Yeah. Or you must.
Or you must. Yeah.
depending on your view, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
that's so hard to wrap your brain around what you should and must do.
And I think it's important when we're talking about those words to think about how in America we don't like to use must. We don't like to use that at all unless it's a very clear reason why.
Right, like you must put on clothes to go in public.
Yeah, very basic rules. But for almost all the things where we mean must, we use should. Because we just want to be telling someone.
It does feel uncomfortable to use
we want to
must.
advise someone rather than require it because we're not the boss.
Right.
Yeah. That's great. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. You did really